and welcome to Sri Lanka Morning Show. Ayubowan.
භූතයෝ කරලියට ඇවිත් ඔහෙ කලින් කලට බඩ පිනුම් ගසත් කටින් කෙබර ඇද හැලෙන කොටත් තව උල්වරසන් දෙනවානි අපිත් භූතයෝ කරලියට ඇවිත් ඔහෙ කලින් කලට බඩ පිනුම් ගසත් කටින් කෙබර ඇද හැලෙන කොටත් තව උල්වරසන් දෙනවානි අපිත් පාට සාටක පළඳන් රට හතර අතේ ගොස් නැඳ වැටෙමි රාජ සභාවට පාර කපන් හර දිවිය රටෙන් යන හැටි බලපන් දැකලා නැතත් මුන් සකස් කඩේ එළු පාලි සංගීස් කෘත කටින් වැටේ රට විකුණන් කන අතරතුරේ දෙස බස රැස ගැනමයි කරච්චලි පිල යටි පිල දෙකට බෙදී මුන් අංකෙලියට ආවත් පේවී ඒකම පිලයි බැලුවම ඇහැරි අන්තට්ටුව අපේ ඔළුවටයි හරි භූතයෝ කරලියට ඇවිත් ඔහෙ කලින් කලට බඩ පිනුම් ගසත් කටින් කෙබර ඇද හැලෙන කොටත් තව උල්වරසන් දෙනවානි අපිත්
St. John's Past Pupils Present. Valentine's Dinner Dance 2024. Grand on Princes, Mulgrave. Door open from 6:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. For more info 0414979483, 0414979401, 0447782410.
Richmond College vs Mahinda College Annual Cricket Encounter. Lovers Quarrel, Melbourne, on Sunday the 25th of February 2024 at Ramley Reserve, Clyde North, from 10 a.m. onwards.
Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us with yet another program of Brain Health for All. Thank you also for your feedback on the program and your questions. I am aware that most of you are worried and frightened about the possibility of dementia disturbing our health, disturbing our brain health. It makes sense. We talked about this. Our brains makes us who we are. We talk, we plan, we think, we sing, we dance, we enjoy, we walk, we do all those things thanks to our brain health. Should we be frightened about dementia? The answer is no. We need to raise our awareness on dementia or brain failure, but we need to act on preventative brain health and prevent us from having dementia in the long run. How can we do that? So the best way to talk about this is with a story. let me tell you about a real story about two professors that I know of without giving you too much detail. Professor number one was doing a similar job to me in the same field some times back, but decided to retire at the age of 65. Decided to enjoy the retirement, but not activating more brain health promoting things and being active and up and about. This particular professor didn't do anything else wrong. This particular professor didn't smoke. There was no uncontrolled blood pressure or hypertension. But for me, I still believe that this particular person retired too early. Stopping work, or in other words, not using our brain as we used to do, is a potential risk for our brains to fail faster than it would otherwise be ending up with. Professor number two, few years older than the previous person, close to 80 now, still very active, unofficially retired, or officially retired, but unofficially still heavily active, supervising PhD students, walks about 10,000 feet or 10,000 steps on a daily basis, live in two different parts, in the city as well as in countryside, in their farm, manage a bunch of sheep, etc., etc., etc. So the moral of the story, although I didn't give you the full picture, is that as we get older, it is super important that we keep enjoying whatever the work that we can do, even if it is like 1 or 2 hours of work, and being physically active and being mentally active and socializing ourselves. The story from Professor number two, although the person is close to 80, having number of PhD students mean there's a lot of social engagement, there's a lot of intellectual stimulation. So all these things help, other than the things that we discussed in previous weeks, to preserve our brain health and protect our brain health. Here is a little hint. Those of you who has access to Netflix, there is a terrific program called How to Live 100 Years, or The Blue Zone. The Blue Zone is about, it is a documentary about different regions in the world where more people live beyond or close to 100 years of age. In summary, most of these people, they live very simple life. They are physically active. Even though they are in their 80s and 90s, they still physically work even 1 to 2 hours. They don't carry heavy stress load in their head. They seems to the live through reasonably easygoing lifestyle, and they socialize a lot. They work as a group, like how our ancestors used to live. And they also eat largely a plant-based diet. If they take alcohol, it's very little, not too much, or largely wine. And their food, as I said, is plant-based. Very rarely they eat red meat. I strongly encourage you to watch this documentary and take the take-home messages that you can take. We will be talking about some of the tips from this and other in time to come in future programs. Remember, don't worry about dementia. Don't get frightened about dementia. Enhance your knowledge on brain health and be active mentally as well as physically and socially, and enjoy your life. You can possibly live close to or beyond 100 years by doing that. So don't forget, if you have access to Netflix, to have a deep at How to Live 100 Years, The Blue Zone. But if you don't have access to that, we will dissect some of these things in future programs. Take care. Thank you for watching. Keep sending your questions to us. We look forward to reading them and answering them. Stay well, stay safe, and enjoy life and protect your brain health and overall health. Remember, there's no health without brain health. Take care.
Welcome to another episode of The Fascinating World of Birds, where today I'm joined with Chanith Wijeratna. While pursuing his passion for birdwatching, Chanith is a medical student and the editor of the Migraine Foundation of Australia. Welcome, Chanith.
Well, thank you for your kind introduction.
Of course. So, Chanith, today would you like to explain to us and our keen viewers about the best spots in Melbourne for birdwatching?
So, we're really lucky in Melbourne, and indeed in Victoria as a whole, because this state has a wonderful blend of different habitats. So you can see a lot of stuff not too far from home. The good thing about Melbourne is there's always a good birding spot somewhere nearby. For instance, a reserve near my parents' place has brown quail and little eagle very consistently, which are two birds that can be tricky to track down. And for a more specific site, Wilson's Reserve in Ivanhoe, which is in a pretty suburban area. Ivanhoe is not far from the CBD. It's currently hosting an azure kingfisher, this glorious little jewel of a bird.
Wow, that's amazing. So out of all the spots that you have been for birdwatching in Melbourne, which one would you say is your personal favourite and why?
Well, I'll have to stick with the safe answer there and go with the Western Treatment Plant in Werribee. This is a very famous spot. It's not the most glamorous place because it's a sewage farm. But what's happened here is a massive wetland is built up around the sewage farm, and because of how nutrient-rich the waters are, and a river mouth flows into the area as well, many birds, especially migratory birds, flock to the area to feed. Getting in there is pretty easy. You just need to apply for a permit from Melbourne Water, and that gives you access to the gates. Once you're in, there's a network of roads you can drive down, some bird hides, and a lot of good places to pull over, stop, and just bird.
Well, that was very fascinating, Chanith. So for our keen bird enthusiasts at home, what tips would you give them when selecting an area for birding?
Well, alongside the usual remark I just made, where pretty much everywhere has some birds, a very useful resource is called eBird. It's a website which has hotspots. Each hotspot is a marked birding site where other birders have uplisted their checklists. The thing about eBird, though, is a lot of places get too little eBird attention because, one, a birder has to visit the spot for there to be a checklist, and then that birder also has to be using eBird themselves. Most birders do, but there's a few who just can't be bothered putting their checklists up. So if you do end up using eBird, I would thoroughly recommend trying to start making your own checklists as well. It really helps people out, not only the birders who go to those sites, but also researchers who can do useful things with that data.
Thank you so much for joining with us, Chanith, and sharing your very insightful knowledge and advice with us and our viewers today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. That brings us to the end of our segment. Join us again next week where we'll be discussing more about birdwatching. Thank you.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanai. Sahandro Ayurvedic Center, best wellness experience.
මොහුනේ ලබ කැලල් පිග්මන්ටේෂන් ඉවත් කළ සුසිනිදු පැහැපත් සමක් ලබා ගැනීමට කැමති ඔබ වෙනුවෙන්ම Forever Gold Pigmentation Remover Cream.
Get personalised help for your VCE, biology and chemistry subjects. In-person and online tutoring by a qualified and experienced tutor. Sulali Pereira. Call 0478 937 826.
News Weekly is brought to you by Ezdan, a Tremor company, the hose specialist. Ezdan Plastics Proprietary Limited, 525 to 527 Hammond Road, Dandenong South.
ආයුබෝවන් සතියේ ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රකාශ සමගින් මම තුෂාර ප්‍රනාන්දු. මුලින්ම අවධානය ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති සිරස්තල වෙතට. කොළඹ රථවාහන වැරදි සෙවීම සඳහා CCTV මෙහෙයුම්. බෙලියත්තේ වෙඩි තැබීමෙන් පක්ෂ නායකයෙක් මරුට. CCC School of Cricket රිදී ජුබිලිය සමරයි. කොළඹ ප්‍රදේශයේ රථවාහන වැරදි සිදු කරන රියදුරන් CCTV කැමරා ඔස්සේ හඳුනා ගැනීමේ විශේෂ වැඩපිළිවෙලක් ආරම්භ කර තිබෙනවා. ඒ අනුව එළඹෙන 31 වනදා දක්වා එය නියම ව්‍යාපෘතියක් ලෙස කොළඹ නගරය ආශ්‍රිතව ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමට නියමිතයි. එහිදී හඳුනා ගන්නා මාර්ග නීති කඩ කරන රියදුරන්ට එරෙහිව ඉදිරියේදී නීතිමය පියවර ගන්නා බවද පොලිස් මාධ්‍ය ප්‍රකාශක ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ පොලිස් අධිකාරී නීතිඥ නිහාල් තල්දුව මහතා සඳහන් කළා. තංගල්ල බෙලියත්ත ප්‍රදේශයේ සිදු වූ වෙඩි තැබීමකින් පුද්ගලයන් 5 දෙනෙකු ජීවිතක්ෂයට පත් වුණා. සිද්ධිය සිදු වූ ස්ථානයේ මලසිරු 4ක් තිබූ අතර එක් අයෙකු රෝහලට රැගෙන යාමෙන් පසුව මියගිය බවද වාර්තා වෙනවා. මියගිය පිරිස අතර අපේ ජනබල පක්ෂයේ නායක සමන් පෙරේරාද සිටින බව වාර්තා වෙනවා. ඔහු කුරුණෑගල වැල්ලව ප්‍රදේශයේ පදිංචිකරුවෙක්. වෙඩිවැදීමෙන් ඉලේකුට්ටිගේ සමීර මදුසංක කුමාර විදාරණලාගේ හසිත වින්සුක බයියාදුරලාගේ බුද්ධික රාජපක්ෂ සහ කන්නංගර කෝරළලාගේ නලින් චම්පික ජයතිලක යන අයද මිය ගොස් තිබෙනවා. මේ අතර අදාළ වෙඩි තැබීමට සම්බන්ධ පුද්ගලයා පැමිණි කැබ් රථය ඉමදුව පිවිසීමෙන් අධිවේගී මාර්ගයට ඇතුළු වී ඇති බවට කරුණු අනාවරණය වී ඇති බැවින් ඔවුන් වැලිගම හෝ මිදිගම ප්‍රදේශයේ කණ්ඩායමක් විය හැකි බවට පොලිසිය සැකපල කරනවා. ගංගොඩවිල මහේස්ත්‍රාත් අධිකරණය විසින් විශ්ව බුද්ධ නමින් පෙනී සිටි චීවරධාරියා යළි රිමාන්ඩ් බන්ධනාගාරගත කර තිබෙනවා. සැකකාර චීවරධාරියා අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව විසින් අත්අඩංගුවටගෙන අධිකරණය වෙත ඉදිරිපත් කර තිබෙනවා. අපරාධ පරීක්ෂණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව මගින් මෙම චීවරධාරියාව කලගෙඩිහේන ප්‍රදේශයේදී අත්අඩංගුවටගෙන තිබේ. බුදුදහම පිළිබඳ ආන්දෝලනාත්මක ප්‍රකාශ නිකුත් කරමින් සහ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය තුළ ආන්දෝලනාත්මක හැසිරීම් සිදු කළ විශ්ව බුද්ධ නම් පුද්ගලයා මීට පෙරද අධිකරණය හමුවට ඉදිරිපත් කර තිබෙනවා. නමුත් මොහු අධිකරණයේ අවවාද නොතකමින් සුපුරුදු ලෙස හැසිරෙන බව පවසා යළිත් අධිකරණයට ඉදිරිපත් කරන ලෙස නියෝග නිකුත් කර තිබෙනවා. මේ අතර ශ්‍රී ලංකා රාමඤ්ඤ නිකායේ මහානායක අතිපූජ්‍ය මකුලෑවේ විමලාභිධාන නාහිමි විසින් මේ බව බෞද්ධ කටයුතු කොමසාරිස්වරයා වෙත දැනුම් දී තිබෙනවා. පසුගිය දෙසැම්බර් මාස 15 වනදා පැවති රාමඤ්ඤ නිකායේ කාරක සංඝ සභාව විසින් මෙය ඒකමතිකව තීරණය කර තිබෙනවා. ඉල්ලීම් කිහිපයක් මුල් කර ගනිමින් කොළඹ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ සිසුන් උද්ඝෝෂණයක නිරත වුණා. කොළඹ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ඉදිරිපිට මෙම උද්ඝෝෂණය පැවැත්වුණේ නේවාසිකාගාර ප්‍රශ්නය, ආචාර්ය මහාචාර්ය හිඟය, සුබ සාධන මුදල් කප්පාදුව හා මහපොළ දීමනාව ප්‍රමාණවත් නොවීම යන ඉල්ලීම් මුල් කර ගනිමින්. මේ අතර ශ්‍රී ජයවර්ධනපුර විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ අනධ්‍යයන සේවකයන් උද්ඝෝෂණයක නිරත වුණා. මෙම උද්ඝෝෂණයට පොලිසිය විසින් කඳුළු ගෑස් ප්‍රහාර එල්ල කරනු ලැබුවා.
මේ වෙනකොට අදාළ කරන මහපොළ වාරිකයකට අදාළ කරන ශිෂ්‍ය සංඛ්‍යාවකට පොඩි සුළු වශයෙන් හෝ ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ මාසික වාරිකය. ඉතාමත් අවම වශයෙන් වැඩෙන්නේ එකක් කඩින් කඩ. මේ වෙනකොට සියලුම මාපන ශාලාවල මිල ගණන් නිහත යමින් යනවා. එතකොට මේ වෙනකොට ශිෂ්‍ය නේවාසිකාගාරවල විශාල ආපන ශාලා ප්‍රමාණයක් අස් කරගෙන යනවා. එතකොට විශ්වවිද්‍යාල ශිෂ්‍යයන්ට ආපන ශාලාවලින් කැම ටික හරියාකාරව ලබා ගන්න නිසි ප්‍රමිතියකින් තොරව ලබා ගන්න තමයි මේ වෙනකොට වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එක සබන් කෑල්ල හතරකට කපාගෙන ගන්න ශිෂ්‍යයෝ තමයි නේවාසිකාගාරවල ඉන්නේ. එතකොට මේ වෙනුව දැවැන්ත ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙද්දී නේවාසිකාගාරවල පරිපාලනයේ තීරණයක් අරගෙන තියෙනවා දැවැන්ත විදියට මාසෙකට රුපියල් 500ක වගේ ගාණක් ලයිට් බිලක් විතර විකුණන්න එකතු කරන්න. එතකොට මේක අපි දන්නේ රාජ්‍ය කිසිමයක මේ වෙන උදයක් කරනවද නැද්ද කියන එක මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් දිගින් දිගටම පරිපාලනය දැනුවත් වෙලා අදාළ කරන විසඳුම් නොලැබීම නිසා තමයි මේ විරෝධතාවය කොළඹ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල මහා සංවිධානය කරන්නේ.
කොළඹ සිංහල සංස්කෘතික ආයතනයේ ඉදිකළ ආචාර්ය රෝහණ බැද්දගේ පෙරහුරු කරලිය විවෘත කෙරුණා. ආචාර්ය රෝහණ බැද්දගේ මහතාගෙන් කලාවට කරන ලද සේවාව ඇගීමක් වශයෙන් මෙම පුහුණු රංගපීඨය ඉදිකොට විවෘත කර තිබෙනවා. සිංහල සංස්කෘතික ආයතනයේ සභාපති සමන්ප්‍රිය මාරසිංහ මහතා ඇතුළු කලාකරුවන් රැසක් මෙම අවස්ථාවට එක්ව සිටියා. ආචාර්ය රෝහණ බැද්දගේ මහතාට උපහාර පිදීමක්ද මෙහිදී සිදු කළා. රෝහණ බැද්දගේ මහතා විසින් රංගනයෙන් දායක වූ නාට්‍ය ගීත රඟ දැක්වීමක්ද මෙහිදී සිදු කළා.
රෝහණ පැත්තගේ අප කියවිය යුතු චරිතයක්. අනාගත පරපුරෙන් ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා එතුමාව කියවන්න, එතුමා කළ කී දෑ හඳුනා ගන්න. එතුමා අපට මහා දැවැන්ත සම්පතක්. තිසරණ සරණයි උඹලට මගේ වහුදරුවෝ.
බන්දුල ගුණවර්ධන අමාත්‍යවරයා කොළොන්නාව වැල්ලම්පිටිය ප්‍රදේශයේ දේශීය ව්‍යවසායකගේ කර්මාන්ත ශාලාවක නිරීක්ෂණ චාරිකාවකට එක් වුණා. කොළොන්නාව පොදු පෙරමුණ සංවිධායක අජිත් සුබසිංහ මහතාගේ ඉල්ලීමකට අනුවයි අමාත්‍යවරයා මෙම සංචාරයට එක් වුණේ. ඒ.එච්. සරච්චන්ද්‍ර නැමැති මෙම ව්‍යවසායකයා කේක් නිෂ්පාදන වෙනුවෙන් පළතුරු වර්ග නිෂ්පාදනය කරනවා. පළතුරු කේක් සහ යෝගට්, ෆලූඩා, අයිස්ක්‍රීම් වැනි දෑ සඳහා යොදා ගන්නා විජනනය කරන ලද පළතුරු කැබිලි මෙහිදී නිෂ්පාදනය කරන අතර ගස් ලැබු පුහුල්, දොඩම් ඇතුළු වෙනත් පළතුරු මෙම කර්මාන්ත ශාලාව තුළ සකස් කරනවා. ඉන්දියාවෙන් මෙතෙක් ආනයනය කළ මෙම නිෂ්පාදන බෙදා හැරියත් මේ වන විට මෙම දේශීය කර්මාන්තය සඳහා විශාල ඉල්ලුමක් පවතින බවයි සරච්චන්ද්‍ර මහතා කියා සිටියේ.
මේක ඉස්ලාම ඒ ගොවියන්ගේ බඩු ටික මෙහෙට ගේනවා. ගෙනල්ලා ඉවරලා මේවා සුද්ධ කරලා කපලා තම්බලා සීනි දාලා ඒක හදලා ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරලා වෙළඳ පොළට ගෙනියනවා. වෙළඳ පොළ යාපනයේ ත්‍රිකුණාමලයේ දකුණු පැත්තට හම්බන්තොට මාතලේ ඒ සයිඩ් ඒ පැති වලට ගෙනියනවා.
ප්‍රවීණ ක්‍රිකට් පුහුණුකරු නෙල්සන් මෙන්ඩිස් මහතාගේ CCC ස්කූල් ඔෆ් ක්‍රිකට් පුහුණු පාසල වසර 25ක් පසු කරනවා. ඒ නිමිත්තෙන් සංවිධානය කළ රිදී ජුබිලි සමරු උත්සවය පසුගියදා කොළඹ බිෂොප් විද්‍යාලයේදී පැවැත්වුණා. ක්‍රීඩකයන් 6 දෙනෙකුගෙන් මීට වසර 25කට පෙර ආරම්භ කළ ක්‍රිකට් පාසල දැන් ක්‍රීඩකින් 400කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක් පුහුණුව ලබනවා. ජාතික කණ්ඩායමට ක්‍රීඩකයන් රැසක් මෙම පාසලෙන් බිහිකොට තිබෙනවා. උපහාරෝල්ල සඳහා හිටපු ක්‍රිකට් නායකයන් වන අර්ජුන රණතුංග, මහේල ජයවර්ධන, රොෂාන් මහනාම වැනි ක්‍රීඩකයන්ද එක්ව සිටියා. CCC ක්‍රිකට් පාසලෙන් පුහුණුව ලැබූ ශ්‍රී ලංකා ක්‍රිකට් කණ්ඩායම නියෝජනය කළ ක්‍රීඩකීන් හට තිලින ප්‍රධානයද මෙහිදී සිදු කෙරුණා. නෙල්සන් මෙන්ඩිස් මහතාගේ උපන්දින සැමරුමද එදින සිදු කිරීම විශේෂත්වයක්. ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ ප්‍රථම වතාවට ශුද්‍ර මූල්‍ය ක්ෂේත්‍රයේ ව්‍යවසායකින් අගයන FLI දිරි අභිමානී 2024 සම්මාන උළෙල අති උත්කර්ෂවත් ලෙස පැවැත්වුණා. FLI දිරි අභිමානී 2024 අති දැවැන්ත සම්මාන ප්‍රධානෝත්සවය පසුගිය ජනවාරි 20 වනදා කොළඹ සුගතදාස ගෘහස්ථ ක්‍රීඩාංගණයේදී පැවැත්වුණා. මෙම සම්මාන ප්‍රධානයට ශ්‍රී ලංකා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී සමාජවාදී ජනරජයේ ගරු අග්‍රාමාත්‍ය දිනේෂ් ගුණවර්ධන මැතිතුමා ඇතුළු මැති ඇමතුරු රැසක් සහභාගී වුණා.
So the game is all about how do you manage that control. For all you young cricketers, some of whom are obviously just coming out of school, playing for your clubs, the play of each ball is controlled by the bowler, not by the batsman. So the bowler has the control to deliver a ball which he desires. Can be a bouncer, can be a yorker, can be a slow ball. If you are a spinner, where you want to bowl, the length, the line, the batsman always had to react to that. Everyone think it's a batsman's game. It's not. So, start thinking, how can we get better as a bowler, as a batsman? So, the challenge for you is to identify your strengths and weaknesses through that sequence. For me, modern day cricket is 3 things. Number 1, skill. Number 2 is fitness. Number 3 is intelligence. If these three can be improved over a period of time, you can be a half decent cricketer. You have to work hard to do that. Why did I say that you can be a half decent cricketer? With those three elements: skill, fitness and intelligence.
මේ සමගින් අද නියමිත සතියේ ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රකාශ නිමාවට පත්වෙනවා. මෙම ප්‍රවෘත්ති ප්‍රකාශ නැවත නැරඹීමට ශ්‍රී ලංකා Morning Show YouTube channel වෙතට යොමු වන්න. ඔබ සැමට සුවදායි සතියක්. අයිබෝවන්. Abacus Solar, latest and reliable solar systems, world best panels and inverters, price beat guarantee, supervised system installation, excellent after sales service. Call 1300 852 843.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanai. Sahandro Ayurvedic Center, best wellness experience.
මොහුනේ ලබ කැලල් පිග්මන්ටේෂන් ඉවත් කළ සුසිනිදු පැහැපත් සමක් ලබා ගැනීමට කැමති ඔබ වෙනුවෙන්ම Forever Gold Pigmentation Remover Cream.
The segment that promotes Sri Lankan culture, diversity, nature and heritage is proudly sponsored by Prestige Wardrobe and Shower Screens.
Get personalised help for your VCE, biology and chemistry subjects. In-person and online tutoring by a qualified and experienced tutor, Sulali Pereira. Call 0478 937 826.
We bring you a special segment to promote Sri Lanka. A special thank you to Sandra and Estrid Jackson for providing us with this segment.
Sri Lanka is an amazing travel destination offering a wide range of places to visit. This island, located in the Indian Ocean off the coast of India, presents visitors with an incredible array of environments and tourist attractions to enjoy and experience. Travellers can trace the island's fascinating history from ancient times through the colonial period to the present in cities like Colombo and Kandy. This relatively compact island boasts 8 UNESCO World Heritage Sites where that history is preserved. Incredible outdoor landscapes and safari experiences can be found in the country's large elephant and leopard-filled national parks like Yala, Minaria and Undawalawe. Sri Lanka is also a beach lover's paradise, ringed by some of the world's most beautiful beaches and home to a number of luxury beach resorts. When planning a Sri Lankan adventure, keep in mind that the country experiences its rainy season from May through August, making December through April usually the best time to visit. The shoulder season, September, October and November, is a good time to visit as well. Plan your travel itinerary with our list of the best places to visit in Sri Lanka.
Good morning everyone. Now today we have Mr. Sanjay Caldera from Sanjay Caldera Associates to talk about the outlook for the parental visa these days. Now, we have talked about this topic before, but there are some new areas that we need to touch. So first of all, we would like to welcome in 2024 for the first time, Sanjay.
Thank you, Tushara. Good to be here again.
Sanjay, now can you explain to our viewers what is the outlook for the parental visa at the current stage, current moment?
Yes, Tushara, we have noticed that not specifically for parent visas, but the government really wants more younger people to come to Australia and work and pay taxes. As you know, Australia has an aging population, so there is an impact of lower quotas available and longer processing time available for any type of parent visa.
Right, because even at the current stage, now I think there is a big queue for long waiting time for the parental visa. So what you're saying is it will take much longer at this with the new changes, is it?
That's exactly correct. For example, we have the contributory parent visa, and I can call it the next one, the non-contributory. Even the contributory parent visa, as per the department guidelines, could take up to 10 to 12 years before a visa is granted. So we have to have strategies where parents can spend a bit of more time with their children till such time these visas are granted.
Yeah, for some of our viewers, they might be a bit confused. What is the difference between this contributory and the non-contributory parental visa? Can you please explain that to them?
Yes, a contributory parent visa is what it exactly means. It's contributing to the country. So on a contributory parent visa, at the time of visa grant, the department will request 43,600 Australian dollars. Non-refundable, it is an outright payment, as well as their per person.
Do they have to pay it as a lump sum or in
They need to pay it as a lump sum just before the visa is granted.
Right.
So I said that currently it's taking about 10 years. So it's not at the beginning, it's at the time of grant.
Okay. Now, what are the requirements? So what are the eligibilities for someone to, like parents, to apply for this contributory parental visa?
Correct. There is the contributory and the non-contributory, and there is the onshore and the offshore options. There are slight differences. Now, to apply for this visa, you should have 50% or more children who are settled Australians, who are permanent residents and citizens. So let's example, if you have 3 children, 2 must be in Australia. If you have got 2 kids, then at least one of them should be in Australia.
Right, okay. Now, what are the other types of parental visa available in Australia?
The other types of parental visas are, we are talking at the moment up to now about permanent resident visas.
That's right.
That is contributory and non-contributory. Either you apply offshore or onshore. I'll explain a little bit of the difference between the onshore and the offshore visa. The criteria is slightly different. For someone to apply onshore, that means if you come on a tourist visa and you don't have a no further stay, it will allow a parent to apply for a parent visa so long as they are aged. What I mean is, depending on the year they are born, they can be aged at 66 right up to 67 and a half. Now, the question that you posed is, what are the other types of parent visas? These are the parent visas which are, we call it a 5-year and 3-year. It's called sponsored parent visa. We have a number called subclass 870. But these are visas which are not permanent residency, but allows parents up to 5 or up to 3 years depending on the visa that they apply.
Right, okay. Now, what are the requirements for them to apply for these 5 or 3 years visas?
Once again, you need to have one of your children who are permanent residents or citizens in Australia. You don't have to, like the parent visa, meet the balance of family test. So, if you even have got one child, that child can sponsor you, that the parent, so long as their taxable income is approximately 84,000 Australian dollars a year.
Are there any restrictions for this visa?
Certainly is. So if a family, if you take a husband and wife and they sponsor, let's say, the husband's parents, then it's until such time their visa expires, the spouse cannot sponsor their parents.
Isn't it a discrimination, kind of?
I think the law has been imposed because they are fully responsible for these parents for the 5 years. So they may think that they couldn't look after two sets of parents.
So are they eligible, once they granted the 5-year visa, are they eligible for the Medicare or any other health benefits?
Unfortunately not. This is what you consider like an extended tourist visa. There are no work rights and there is no Medicare.
Now, Sanjay, what are the costs involved in these 5-year and 3 years visas?
The majority of the cost comes again at the time of visa grant. There is a visa application fee, but the cost of getting a 5-year visa per person is $10,000 at the time of visa grant. And for a person who has applied for 3 years, it is $5,000 at the time of visa grant.
And also I've heard that the 5-year visa holders are entitled to extend the visa while they're in Australia. Is that right?
Yes, they need to apply again and also again pay the $10,000. Now, I'd like to tell you why people actually use this. There are two reasons, Tushar. Especially when there is working families and there is no one to look after and childcare cost is so high. So, bringing your parents and spending $10,000 is really good economic sense, and where the two parents can go and pursue their career. That is one thing. The other thing is, as I said, remember I said it takes 10 years for 10 to 12 years for a contributed parent visa to be granted, especially if they are been applying overseas. So during the time that they're waiting for it, they can spend time with the family on these two visas.
Right. So what you're saying is, let's say if they applied offshore for the contributing parental visa, and then they can come on this, it's kind of a visitor visa, is that right?
That's correct.
And then while they're waiting for that visa, what if it's granted while they're in Australia?
That's fine. I mean, they will be asked to go back to where the original country that they are before it's granted. But it's extremely unlikely during the first 5 years, or perhaps even the second 5 years, that the permanent resident visa will be granted, because at the moment it's taking 10 years.
Right, okay. I think we've shared very valuable information with us, with our viewers today. Now, Sanjay, thank you so much for coming and sharing this information with us, and hope to see you again with some, changes to the migration areas in upcoming weeks.
Thank you very much, Tushar, for having me today.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life
Abacus Solar, latest and reliable solar systems, world best panels and inverters, price beat guarantee, supervised system installation, excellent after sales service. Call 1300 852 843.
Rosewood Downs Excellence in Aged Care, a modern purpose-built home available in single and double rooms with ensuite and telephone in every room. Contact Ruben and Christine on 9701 3234.
Sanji Caldera Associates. With our headquarters based in Melbourne, Australia, you can locate our branch offices in Sri Lanka, Dubai, Canada and London, UK. Some of our services include skilled migration visa, family migration visa, employer sponsorship visa, temporary resident visa, business visa, tourist visa, student visa, administrative appeals tribunal review. Pursuit of excellence through tailored solutions.
The science of life, traditionally known as the Ayurveda. Consultations, diagnosis and treatments are done by fully qualified Ayurvedic practitioner Dr. Sam Dasanai. Sahandro Ayurvedic Center, best wellness experience.
මොහුනේ ලබ කැලල් පිග්මන්ටේෂන් ඉවත් කර සුසිනිදු පැහැපත් සමක් ලබා ගැනීමට කැමති ඔබ වෙනුවෙන්ම Forever Gold Pigmentation Remover Cream.
Get personalised help for your VCE, biology and chemistry subjects. In-person and online tutoring by a qualified and experienced tutor, Sulali Pereira. Call 0478 937 826.
When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. He'll trade the world for a good thing he's done. When she's bad, he can see, he can do no wrong. Turn his back on his best friend if he puts her down. When a man loves a woman, spend his very last dime trying to hold on to what he needs. He'll give up all his comfort to sleep out in the rain. She said that's the way it ought to be.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Nolene Hunter. Welcome to the Sri Lanka Morning Show and, of course, Music Matters. It's good to be with you today. Well, today I focus on a legend. He's someone whose name is synonymous with great music, and he's right up there with all the superstars of Sri Lanka. Yes, I'm talking, of course, about Maxi Rosario. Hello, Maxi. Welcome to the studio today. It's lovely. It's great to have you here on the show, because I think this is a rare opportunity, because actually you don't generally perform so much on stage now, and we don't see you and we don't hear you on stage, regrettably. So anyway, it's good to have you here with us. And
I'm so happy to be here, Nolene.
And also, I'd like to start off by asking you, why the absence?
Why the absence?
Mm-hmm.
Nolene, I hung up my boots 10 years ago.
Oh.
And I said, no, I have to do something different. And so I took up to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I had to teach myself first how to teach. But eventually I got there. And I think I'm doing quite well now with a lot of young voices in Sri Lanka. And yes,
I'll get back to that in a little while. But first I'd like to find out, because you've had a much acclaimed career, for so many years. Let's start off with your first steps in music.
Oh.
You'll have to go back in time.
Go back in time to 1969?
Yes. No, I'm sorry, 67. 67, I started accidentally with a small band they were called the Sound Waves then. They became big later on. They were just rehearsing, and then I accidentally got into the band, not by wanting to, but I was forced to. Okay. So anyway, that's a long story. So
weren't you with the Fireflies as well?
Yes. So after that, I think the band Sound Waves went to practice with in the studios with Earl Arnolder. Right. So whilst practicing there, I think the Fireflies heard me at some point or another, and they invited me to join the band in 1968. This was. So I joined them in 68 and had 2 very, very fabulous years learning the ropes, getting into the music scene really. But I had some good teachers there. They were much older than me, all of them in the Fireflies, and I learned so much from them.
Did you play or did you sing at the Coconut Grove with the Fireflies?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's at the Golf Festival.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I did, and that was, like I said, 2 wonderful years with the Fireflies. And whilst in 1970 is that I moved on to join the Spitfires.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to ask you about your career with the Spitfires, because that was a band that was popular in the 60s, late 60s and 70s and early 80s as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell me some of your memories with the Spitfires.
Oh, memories with the Spitfires. Like I said, I joined them in 1970, and then the lineup there at that time was they had always had a frontline singer. So there was Desmond, there was Dalryn, and I joined, and there was Claude Fernando playing keyboards, and Chinti Pereira was playing drums. Donald Seniratna was on, I think he was playing rhythm guitar at the time.
I remember Donald used to be so good on his bass guitar and used to run on the notes. He used to be called Donald Symphony Ratna.
Oh, he was so good actually. He was one of our best bass guitarists at the time.
So the Spitfires always had good musicians,
very good musicians, very good music. We had Ronnie Bowstead playing guitar when I joined, and we had I can't remember who was playing bass. Felix Fernando was playing bass. So Felix Fernando, Ronnie Bowstead, Claude Fernando, and Chinti Pereira was on drums. Yes. Then we had changes, of course. Raja Jalaluddin came in as a guitarist. Then we had Heather Jans joining us as a singer. Then we changed Donald. We got Donald from playing rhythm to play bass. So
and this was the time when you all were performing at Selinko?
At Selinko, at the Sundowns there. Oh, what wonderful days those were.
Yeah.
And we drew some wonderful crowds as well. And the band of course changed from time to time. We had different keyboard players. There was Surya Kumar playing keyboards at one time. There was Niyal Basnayaka playing keyboards at one time. And then, of course, subsequently, Mohan Vimalasuri joined as keyboard player.
He was an excellent keyboardist.
Oh, wonderful. So then that became the lineup. Raja Jalaluddin, Donald on bass. I think it's Mohan Sabaratnam who came and played drums with us. And keyboards was Mohan. Yeah, that was the lineup. Then
all super musicians.
While doing this, then we did lots of shows. One of the shows that Manik Sandrasagara produced called the New Age Show. That was such a fantastic show. That brought me out as a singer, I must say. That's for the first time I sang one of Simon and Garfunkel's songs, Bridge Over Troubled Water. And I was, it sort of, the audience sort of recognized it as one of my best performances. And from there on, of course, yes, I had made my name. I had made my thing in the music scene. And went on like that until in 1973, we had this invitation to tour.
The Middle East?
Tour the Middle East. The first stop, Dubai. And then we had with us, I think, Priyanti Manamperi went along with us. And Raja Jalaluddin, Mohan Sabaratnam. And we had an addition of Rodney Vanier as a keyboard, as a saxophone player. But after we went to Dubai, yeah, it was very eventful. We went to Dubai, played there. I mean, it was like it was called the Wagon Train Club. And most of the people there in Dubai was a nothing place at the time. There were a few buildings in Dubai. There were no just huge big things I see today.
Yeah.
Dubai was just a desert with a couple of nightclubs and a couple of hotels there. Anyhow, the Wagon Train Club drew a lot of Americans, and we played to that audience. They liked our music. But after 3 months, 2 of our members wanted to go back home. That was Mohan Sabaratnam and Rodney Vanier. They went home, and we got Chinti back again, and got Kumar Maligoda to play saxophone. So there we went on. Then subsequently we moved on from Dubai to Beirut. When we were playing there again, Mohan came and joined us. Mohan Sabaratnam came back as drummer. And the band did very well from then on, because we had yours truly joining us as well. And there
I joined you in Dubai. I joined the Spitfire in Dubai. That's right.
Yeah, you came when we. So we had a fabulous front line there.
Yeah.
I was feeling like a rose in between two thorns. There was Priyanti and there was Noel.
A thorn between two roses.
So there we were, fabulous. We appeared on Beirut TV.
That was the first time I appeared on TV, and you as well, and the whole group.
We didn't have TV in Sri Lanka at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
So we appeared on TV, and that was really a fabulous experience. So life changed us in Beirut, because we saw Beirut as a part of Europe. At the time, they were so fabulously well off.
It was called the Paris of the Middle East.
Paris of the Middle East. And there we were, and from then on, of course, we had an agent who took us to various different other places, like Damascus and Cairo and Baghdad and all these places, including Iran and Tehran, Isfahan, all. So the went on for 7 years. During that 7 years, we did visit one time, and then we went back again. At one time I came back thinking that I was leaving the band, but I came and rejoined the band again. And so it went on.
Those were good times.
Good times, and I stayed there with them till 1979, which is a very long time, from 1970. I came back in 1979, towards the end of 1979.
There's no better place on